Hi everybody, welcome to Materia D&D, where we play Materia. Where we play D&D our way. Yeah. This is session 105. Yeah. So last time the Menagerie came to the culmination of all their efforts in gathering the supplies needed for a cleansing ritual for their cursed Dregnar. For cursed friend Dregnar, um, that a hag in her dying breath cursed him with something that potentially could bring her back. They weren't sure, but using the resources available to them in the Grey Kroll Mountains, with a now companion friend named Kiana, an elder, mystic, spiritual healer type of individual. The menagerie took their preparations down to the Vashlands, where the waterfalls crash into the land and little creeks babble on. Here, there was a site of ritualistic circles and some stone structures, or more that were more like actual stones stacked up on each other with some glyphs and writings. And yeah, they prepared Dregnar to be cleansed in the most unique way that is uh, specific to the tribes of the Krollweir, with their relationship with the basilisks and their ability to hunt them extremely effectively. Uh, they petrified Dregnar in a controlled manner, where he took the position of a meditating monk. Black, sticky ooze. I equated it kind of like similar to the Venom symbiote, if you're familiar with Marvel. uh, Began to pour out of the statue, and it did begin to puddle and pool, where Rock gathered most of it in an orb and shoved it away. However, a small globule managed to detach itself, moving rapidly, and it began to rise, arms first, stretching up, and it was this horrendous amalgamation of Dregnar and Zarya in her tiefling form. Combat and battle ensued to save Dregnar, to eliminate this curse, to weaken it. All the while, Dregnar, in his petrified state, had to struggle internally and was confronted with himself, but a different version of himself, or a different aspect of himself. It's still unclear, but with some initial struggles and turbulations and, frankly, failures, uh, causing it to be more difficult for Dregnar to escape and be cleansed. Those manifested in empowering and emboldening the resurrected, in air quotes, Zarya. However, taking another approach and actually listening to what his internal self was saying, he realized that his approach was wrong, and took in his surroundings and found a clue to his past, uh, and learned to acknowledge the individual that he was talking with. Upon doing so, Zarya began to drastically weaken and became more frantic, to the point where she started to ignore the menagerie and attack the petrified statue of Dregnar, to little success, but it did shake his inner world some. And before Dregnar was released, Doppel Dregnar, I think is what we were calling him, clocked him upside the head and told him to find her. And uh, Dregnar awoke, cracking the statue, breaking free. Moments before that, I believe it was Rock, noticed that his eyes of the statue had opened. Dashing after Zarya, now back in his true form in the narrowscape, the material plane, Dregnar grabbed her, slammed her body back, and the menagerie dispatched supposedly of this amalgamated form of Zarya, um, using almost like a daisy chain of throwing the Hellhound skull, which is needed for the ritual. Dregnar eventually caught it and opened the jaw wide and then siphoned the now black, misty, tar like cloud gathering around him, and with a closing chomp, the eyes glowing red on the hellhound skull, its internal like mouth, the structure of its like inner lining is now glowing red. You have the curse trapped or concealed or at least confined. Uh, yeah. Kiana, the spiritual healer, is exhausted from the ordeal, still being covered by the illusionary shrub, providing her some protection. She's like panting and down on one leg through the ordeal, one knee. What would the menagerie like to do?
Well, I guess you're better now. What? Would you just? What? What?
Let's get somewhere where we can rest, get her back, and then I'll tell you what happened. Thank you.
So you're good.
I think so. But I
So
hurt.
do we like
You guys will
smash
notice
the
I'm
skull
covered
yet?
it. You guys notice I'm covered in blood.
Oh, yeah.
I took out of game. I took what, 50 points of damage, give or take. Yeah.
I mean, that was internally though, right? Like, would it show externally?
You're bruised. It's all internal
Yeah.
bleeding.
Yeah. I guess so because technically it wasn't out. I
Yeah,
don't know.
it's not like physical damage. It's
Psychic,
so yeah.
but not really.
I mean, it's kind of fitting if it was psychic, right? Because he can't resist it as much as he wants to. But no, yes. So he's like Dregnar is winded. Dregnar is tired.
Yeah.
He looks like he's been through a lot, but on the outside, he just looks more, still a little sallow and
Right.
weak. But he's definitely got some color coming back. You notice his eyes are much more clear. He's standing a little bit more proper.
Exactly, Kyle. Exactly.
What was that?
Emotional damage.
Yes, that's
Emotional
perfect.
damage.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Are these cliffs climbable? Like, can we actually get up here?
Uh, sure, there might be some effort needed, but absolutely.
I would like
You
to
could
try to
jump
get
in.
up there just to make sure that the black goo is. I mean, I sent
Okay.
it flying, but I don't want it
Probably
running
jump
around.
up a couple of them.
Yeah. So, yeah, I will say you don't have to worry about moving your token unless you wish to. If you recall, the ooze did get out of your sphere at one point, and it did start to tidal wave its way back, and it gathered around the base of Dregnar as he was meditating. When the statue broke and you were kind of looking around, Rock, you noticed that where the stone fragments of the external shell of Dregnar fell, it seemed to absorb the black tar. And as you see, like there's no tar around you, you head into the direction where the sphere went cascading through, like knocking trees over, breaking branches and limbs, crushing, other smaller shrubs, and you kind of see the impact spot where it like slammed into a mighty oak tree, uh, definitely damaging it and like splintering, a lot of its bark away. The tar there is, you see it, it's almost as like a small breeze blows in, it's starting to almost turn to ash and just be sent off into the wind. But there's only small traces of it.
And it's not moving or jiggling, or it just exists.
You can give me an investigation check.
Okay, I can do that. Investigation. 16 total.
16. Yeah, it is essentially as if it's like the remnants of a fire, and it's the very fine ashes burned away and getting picked up with the wind. You're you're pretty sure that it's inert. It's not a threat.
Okay, I'm satisfied with that. I'll jump back down and be like, hey, Dragnar, all of your black goo appears to be dead. So that's nice.
Black goo.
Yeah, you had black goo in you.
Great.
A fair amount.
It was a lot.
Yeah, Dragnar, as I say that, you're looking at your hands and where you were just like strangling and ripping, the throat out of Zarya. You see that black goo is doing kind of that same effect where it's just ashing away.
That's gross. And this was in me.
Kiana will kind of say it was. That was her curse was something. I'm very tired.
So am I. Let's go back to camp and rest.
I would very much appreciate that. However, we need to, and she kind of looks around. Oh, we need to gather the remnants of the stones, and I will carefully gather the necklace.
I have a place
Oh.
we can put the stones if you need to get rid of them forever.
Oh, that would, yeah, that would be wonderful.
I'm going to start feeding the stones to the bag of devouring.
Okay.
Carefully throwing them in, not like anywhere. I'm not my hand, none of my pockets, like anywhere near the mouth.
I just have to check, like Al
Use
will help you.
catapult.
Yeah, Al will mage hand, like you'll see this spectral cobalt hand as he like clutches onto Hans, and the hand kind of lifts as he sees you're doing it. And he'll like he'll as you put the pouch, he'll open the pouch with the spectral hand, and then you could just catapult if you wish to.
Well, I depends how many rocks there are because I'm kind of almost out of spells. So
Oh, okay. Then yeah, Al will just start helping you with mage hand. He'll like, and
Does he put all the rocks in the bag?
it's gonna take some time. Like it's imagine what a full person that's been petrified. There's that layer of
All the rocks?
but it
oh haha, but
also it's only Dragnar size, so it's like a half person.
Wow.
Yep, that's true. This half person come over there and kick you in the face. Oh, sorry, medicine woman Goliath lady. I can't think right now. Can we bring this in your camp? As I hold the hellhound skull up.
What do we do with it?
that is another. Yes, we will need to keep it under watch in the outskirt settlement where you are staying, and now recuperating once again.
I just don't want to do no taboo things anymore.
I mean, you have helped. Uh, your friends have certainly helped with some strange occurrences that I am certain good words have been sent throughout the villages. Now, how to get rid of the vessel is now something difficult. I was planning on putting the necklace around the muzzle and allowing it to be petrified.
We could do that, and then I'll kind of look at Davis and the rest of the group. But we also have a small friend that may be able to take care of it. Well, I say small friend, more like a cat friend. He was a tabaxi, right?
I mean, I would hesitate giving anyone such a well damned item, but are, are they? He is
They're a practitioner of the arts, and they have many items, both good and bad. I'm assuming.
okay. I mean, if you believe he is qualified, and at this point, she's kind of got her kind of closer and gathered her, helping her gather her things and all that, and she's looking at the hellhound skull, and It's almost as if the skull is alive again in the fact that, like, you see that, like, the glowing red from underneath its skin, its jaw. You can see the burning essence inside of it. The eyes are bright and lively. However, it is not moving. It is certainly a dead skull. And just say, best whoever does deal with it, however we deal with it, it is best known that it is with someone that is familiar.
There's that, or a rock. How big is the opening in your bag?
I'm gonna just hold my hands up and be like, this big. It's not that
It's
big.
it's definitely big enough for the skull, though.
Yeah, we
You
can
might
fit
need
that
to
in there.
carefully place it in by hand.
Well, I don't know what would happen to the bag or the skull if that happened. So let's think
I
on
mean,
it.
Very well. And Kiana will motion and say, "Shall we return to the outskirts?"
Oh, y'all guys are tired, but I'm good. Let's go. Let's fight something else. Let's go.
The old Goliath just stares at you, like sweat still, like you can still see like sweat still kind of beating down her, even if it's been.
Out of character. I got this armor bag of this for like another hour. Let's go.
Come here, Davis. I'll punch you. I can barely lift my arms up.
Yeah. So, laughs had, especially in the relief of something so serious being taken care of. Y'all are able to trek the. It's a much slower trek this time because y'all are so beat up and tired, except for Davis, and I'm
Literally.
surely can imagine
more
Davis.
health than I started the fight with.
Yeah, just trying to egg you on to go faster.
Now you know how I feel every time you guys are walking.
But you do make it to the outskirts settlement. Far up, high up above you, you hear the screeching roar of Loon Loon as her giant eagle form swoops down and lands on one of the larger, proper pine trees in this area, precariously perched on it. As I was mistaken about the spell. I don't know why I got the spell mixed up with something earlier, but I
Oh yeah,
corrected
Fine Grader
it
Sheet
now.
just has no duration, right? It's just forever, right?
Yeah, I was trying to think of like what I got it mixed up with, but
It's like
there you go.
forever until dismissed or dies.
Yeah,
I
or
think.
dies. Yeah.
And it can be dispelled, right?
Does,
No.
Because it doesn't
No,
have a
no, no.
duration, right?
Yeah, so it doesn't. You can counter spell it at the moment of casting, but you cannot dispel it because it is not sustained by magic on this realm. It is brought by magic onto this realm.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So, and that's what Danny said is like if it has a duration, you can dispel. That's like the biggest hint in all of 5th edition. Like if something has a set duration, you can dispel it. If it
Instantaneous doesn't count.
instantaneous doesn't count.
Cool.
Unless specifically mentioned, which I don't think there's anything published yet that says that. But I remember reading something like in one of the Twitter posts where they're like, unless if it specifically mentions that it can be yada yada. So so y'all are back. It is y'all started this fairly early, if y'all recall. So it is probably at the start of midday. But it feels like it's been a full day, especially for you, Davis, and for Kiana. Or not Davis, Dregnar and Kiana. Yeah, sorry. So, what would you guys like to do? We pre-combine. You can fast play this. We can role play it. Whatever comes to mind.
I am just going to lay down and rest for as long as I can and contemplate what I saw in this, I guess, my realm, if you will.
Okay.
And then try to figure out how I'm going to tell the party what I saw.
Fair point. I think I have your realm on this page as well. Let me check. I may not have done it. Let's see. Excuse me. Did I put it on this page as well? No, I did not.
Adam, I'm assuming I've never been to there before,
Mhm.
but it felt like me, right? Like I knew that I was connected to it, or was it just something random?
No, that was it. It
I'm
was.
just trying to figure out how much I know about it as far as personal connectivity.
Yeah, I get that. I go ahead and give me a wisdom check. We can say that it's about you, so you can say you're proficient in it.
Okay, so that would be a 14.
Yeah, 14. So that was definitely, if that was not you, it was a part of you at least, right? It's especially reflecting on as you're kind of laying there, just trying to rest, looking up at the sky, seeing the clouds move, listening to the birds chirping, the leaves rustling. Um, it
So
was
that,
very, hmm?
sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, it was very much that entity that you saw was too much like you. And the biggest thing where there might have been like a creeping doubt was it reflected itself as like a white and gray version of yourself. However, its manifestation of its energy and its aura was shadow and darkness. And you're focusing in on it, and you remember your friend saying that the black tar came
Mhm.
out. This wasn't a black tar creature, so it was not. He was not related to Zarya at all. I will tell you
So,
that for sure.
so could I kind of get this similar feeling of when I spin key? It's the same feeling I had when I was there because it's coming from within me.
It's weird. Yes, but he also displayed another side, and that more
Primal.
primal side. Yeah, that's what he really felt like. When he hit you, you felt that same type of primal instinct surge.
Gotcha. Okay. Makes sense.
Yep, yep. Yeah. Uh, so, mhm. What? Okay. Mhm, mhm. Mhm. Gotcha. Um, Anybody wanting to join Davis on the excursion back to the main settlement while Dregnar kind of rests? Yeah, Al will accompany you. I know that.
And Adam, I will not let the skull out of my
Yeah,
control.
got it.
I
Uh,
I want alone time to like work on some spells and do some things, so I'll leave them be.
okay. Uh, Carlos?
I'm gonna chill next to Dregnar because he's
Yeah.
not completely tapped, but he's a little beat up. And just to
Mhm.
make sure there's no extra oozy goozy comes out while
I like
everybody's
it.
relaxing.
I like it. And Sej will
Do I need to drop my pants for you?
No.
whoa. Sej will stay and attend and keep a watchful eye on Kiana, who's in a tired, exhausted state. Dregnar, who's also in a tired and rather exhausted state. And he will most certainly crack some jokes about how the light crushed the shadows and stuff like that. But that's just him trying to do some bedside talking. But yeah, Davis, as you're accompanied with Al heading back to the main settlement of Holm proper, taking up the kind of winding path. You're seeing some of the wildlife, the mountain goats, especially the different type of like bluff prairie critters and birds. Al's just he's walking with you. He's mostly quiet. You
On
can
the
see he's got.
way, on the way, I'll be like, "What was that thing? There was like 4 birds. I don't think I'd seen that before. Where'd you get that?
Yes, that's the thing that Tabard let me borrow. It's
Borrow?
pure.
Because that's a keeper. It's
I
like,
mean, I mean,
I'm sure we owe him for it, but like, that's
yeah,
nice.
yeah. It was weird. I was in 4 places at once, dude.
Like, you could tell all 4. Like, you were like, I'm here, 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 and here.
Yeah, but I couldn't do much while they were.
Huh.
It was weird. But I got to pick where I came back. Like
Huh.
I specifically was like, I am going to be here, and
Man,
uh,
that's cool.
yeah, it was pretty neat. But yeah, it's just showing you like this little it's like a crest that seems to be made of like black feathers.
Yeah, out of character.
Uh,
I think that's when I was gone. Like when he was talking about that with Tabard. I think that's when I was gone on the east side of Whitlaw.
that makes sense. Where you were at the Snoring Lodge,
Sorry, yeah,
at the Temple District. Um,
the Kneeling
yeah,
District.
the Kneeling District. Yes, thank you. Hopefully, I'll be able to trade some of the stuff we got, or maybe we got some
Do
coin
you
that I
think
can.
he'd want that skull? Like, should we give it to him? Like, it's pretty dangerous, I assume.
Yeah, it's some. Let's be honest, it's some fucked up shit.
Well, I don't know shit about curses. I figured that maybe it's something you know more about.
You and me, buddy. We are on par and equal when it comes to curses, my friend.
I'm an insight check.
Okay. Oh, let me.
That's not great, but he's a really good liar. So 11. I think
Yeah,
his base bonus is like 11 or 13 or something.
it's 13 if he's deceiving. Um. Yeah. You and me. Honestly, we're like. What you know about curses is pretty much what I know about curses because I think
Huh.
we've seen the same amount of curses.
I
I mean, I had
well, you study stuff, and I thought you may just have heard of something. So
eh, not that occult in nature, though.
okay,
I mean,
okay.
I mean,
Tabard probably
I'm
knows though, because that guy
yeah,
just seems to have his little fingers in everything.
yeah. I like him, but I'm afraid of him at the same time.
I get that. I very much get that.
Yeah.
It's really weird because he's so tiny to me compared to me. Like I'm,
Al looks at you. He's like, "I'm tiny compared to you."
I mean,
Yeah,
I wouldn't say you scare me. I'm not saying that you're not strong and powerful, but you don't scare me.
yeah. Well, you should be scared. He goes for his whip and he's like, that's right. No, I mean, yeah, I want to trust him. I think he's probably out of everybody we know the most qualified. I don't even know what his qualifications are.
I mean, the only other
Is
person I
having
can
a
think
magic
of.
shop a qualification?
Yeah, he's more than just that, though. I'm sure. Like, and there's that whole thing, like professor. You know, I don't know, something. Anyway, we never figured that out. But the only other person I can think of would be like Wiggs, and I don't know that that's his thing really. His is more. I don't know. This seems like you said, kind of a cult, and I never got that feel from
You know,
Wiggs.
Wiggs was like a tinker, right? He made
Yeah,
things.
yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
not other realms and planes and weird shit.
Well, I mean, unless if you consider like under the sea, another plane, you would know something about that, right?
Under the sea, not so much, but the sea, sure.
Oh, okay. But
It
yeah,
is
but
scary.
going back to the crest, maybe I really wonder how much the stuff that we left there is worth.
I know, right?
He's okay. Okay, keeper. I'll remember that keeper. I really wanted to
I was like,
try
if you
this
don't
one
want it,
other.
I'll take it because it seems like it's a really cool way to maybe just get around real fast. And I was having a hell of a time keeping up last this morning.
Oh, see, I was thinking of it as like if I ever need to get somewhere up high or something, I can just,
Ooh, that's true. That's true too. Yeah.
or
But you've got the little
if
door. You can get anywhere you want just about with that door.
yeah, but that takes
Yeah, I
takes
understand.
effort.
I understand.
Like
Taps you out a little. I get you.
yeah, this is just as long as this thing has some sort of spark in it, I can.
Right. I'll
So
kind of like hold my trinket, be like, yeah, yeah, I get it.
yeah, so the fact that you like it makes me like it that much more. So thanks, buddy. So you guys, with that kind of conversation, are able to really, makes the walk of the like 30 minutes towards the main settlement go by very quickly. Upon getting there, it's just like a normal day, because no real bad activity has happened up this high in the bluffs. You do see the various uh, braves and tanners and stitchers and all the different skilled individuals in their various little workspaces, uh, just
I
going
would,
through regular life.
I would seek out, I guess, Kenny, Jojo, Bertha if they're there, and then whoever was it three people that we saved from the cave. Just
Um,
kind of check on them, be like,
I, I will say, as you're kind of asking around, Kenny, Jojo, and Bertha, they're back on down on the other side of the bluff,
oh, okay,
back home with their families. And then the river folk, the Vash folk that you helped, you get word that there hasn't been any other weird activities, that the water is less salty. It seems to be taking time, and that the three, while traumatized, and you learn that one of them lost their partner, and another one lost their brother. They're okay physically, minus the like maybe
okay.
some scratches and gashes from being grabbed at and everything. Uh, yeah, that's really the bulk of what you're doing, is or able to hear as you're asking for those things. Is there anything particular Is there a destination you had in mind? Are you looking for someone? Are you?
I mean, so the two things that I said basically, the
Mhm.
just making sure our name is still good here, basically.
Um. So yeah. So as you and Al are kind of going around, just getting a vibe, just trying to see how people react to your presence. I guess go ahead and roll me an insight check, and I'll do one for Al as well.
Okay. Yeah, pretty good. 21 for me.
All right, a lot better for you, I think. Oh, well, that's something I forgot to do was open character sheets. Um, Al, insight, yeah, 7 total for Al.
Wow.
Um,
What do you roll, a 2 or something?
yeah, he rolled so +3, so he rolled 4.
Oh, 4.
Um, he's like, he's just kind of letting you interact with the people, get a sense. There's not really a negativity to you guys. Especially since word of you guys helping the river folk, and then more recently their gnome kin, you know, uh, You're okay. There isn't like there's no hostility towards you guys. You're not feeling those eyes following you by any like the braves or anything. You seem to be able to just move freely amongst the bluffs.
Okay. I may
Um,
try anybody who seems kind of receptive. I may also try and like also hype us up just a little bit, just to kind of sway it the other way. But like, if they say anything like, "Oh, well, it seemed like you had a tough time," maybe it was really hard to save those people, or da da da. I'll be like, "Yeah, it was super difficult, but we did this and this," and just kind of, talk a big
okay,
game a
so
little bit to kind of pump us up.
yeah, there are at one point as you're making like a little stop and just kind of looking at some of the actual skilled workers here, uh, specifically like doing some stitchery work. There's they look up at you and they recognize and they start having that discussion with you and uh, you're able to tell them like of the efforts and of what you saw and you're able to kind of confirm the rumor that no there was this to, they have as the best as they can translate and speak to you they were just like doing like large monster kind of thing and then yeah no there was a big scary yeah and they take it in like they understand enough common to where you can get the discussion across and go ahead and I guess give me a persuasion check. Al will help you as he kind of
Ooh, that's a 1 and a 19, so total of 26.
yeah so very
Nice.
you do very well getting the name around they start kind of like shouting over to like another group that's working and they're basically setting up tanning hides and they wave them over and they kind of start saying the story and look at you and you kind of like nod and so some rumors spread locally and then you just kind of get the sense that they're going to disseminate through the course of the day um as you guys are walking the only other thing that I need from you right now is if you can give me a perception check.
9 total.
In total, okay. um you miss it as you're just kind of taking in all the sounds of communal life here. It kind of reminds you of being on a boat. Everyone's got a job, everyone's got a task, and there's really no outside sounds beyond nature and physical work. Al picks up on another sound of metal tinging off of metal in the area. And it's almost like he's like, it sounds like a hammer hitting metal. And it's a sound that, now that you think about it, you haven't really heard much of a metal sound here in the past few days. And you're kind of guided by Al, and you guys have walked through, and Morgan is set up, and he's essentially has like this makeshift kind of bellow made out of different type of leathers, workbench and a station, and he's up by one of just the communal fire pits, and he has like a gathering of maybe a dozen or so individuals, and they're just watching him do his craft. It is something that you pick up as just foreign to these people. They've seen metal armor on some of the adventurers or people that have come. They've seen metal weapons. Heck, they've traded for metal tools and all that. But seeing one of their own take something cold and dead and then making it breathe life with fire, you just get the sense like this is a spectacle for them, even though it's something so simple. Like you would just see like a blacksmith in a town just hammering away on a billet of metal, but they're digging it in or soaking it all up. And Morgan will see y'all and kind of wave, with his hammer up, and then just kind of get back, and you see him just engaging and discussing with the people. Uh, and that'll be, majority of your time kind of circulating through here, unless if there's anything else you wish to do or I missed or something.
Oh, that's good.
All right, cool. Back at the offshoot settlement camp, Dregnar, you're just, you just needed time to recuperate. That's all that it is. Cracking your joints, thinking about what you've seen, experienced. At any point, would you imagine yourself dozing off, or are you purposely trying to stay awake?
I would say that if I was able to calm down, yeah, I'd probably doze off for a little bit just to, because I know my body needs it.
Okay. First time sleeping out in the open, because you've always been just bundled up and kept in, the little sleeping construct building. Sleep does find you to the sounds of the squeaking birds and the little insects. Comfort knowing that like your friends are still in the area around you and that you found people that were able to do something so profound for you. It was often you that had to step in and take the beating. That was always you that had to be the devout protector. It almost like a weight, and you can kind of take a deep breath and just melt into the earth itself and just relax. At one point, you don't know when you drifted off or at what point in the sleep you see that individual one more time. It's briefly, and they're grinning and smirking as they were, with their exaggerated features. The dark, animalistic shadow mantle is dissipated into that simple wafts of shadowy smoke coming off of them. And very simply, in that four-tone voice of theirs, the message is, if you die, I will take over. And you wake up, but not like from a nightmare or from a shock. Just kind of wake up, and rub your eyes a little bit. You see Sej with Kiana, Karos in the area near you, Rock off on one of the stone seating placements, and you see him hunched over, Quill floating in the air, Inkwell out, Pebble ever so vigilant on his shoulder. Rock, what are you doing with your spells?
I just want to take the time to try and copy the two remaining ones into my book tonight if I can.
Okay. Are you doing
just,
which one first?
For
Fortune's Favor? Okay. So that'll be 2 hours and
Well,
4
did I
hours.
get that wrong? Hello?
Hi, are you back?
Oh, sorry. Am I cutting out?
You said 4. So I think you said Fortune's Favor, but I don't know.
Yes, I did. Yeah. Sorry if I cut out there.
Oh, okay. So Fortune's Favor, second level spell. That is 4 hours and 100 gold, so 2 charges off your inkwell.
Okay.
Isn't it divination though?
Oh, it is. Aha! But we got rid of that feature,
Oh, okay.
if I remember right. Let me check. You're right, but I think we swapped it out in Materia for a different feature. Let's check.
I know something about wizards. That's crazy.
Yeah, right. Well, everyone knows about the simple savant ones that they have. You may use an action. Yeah, so in Materia, rather than the copying bonus, it's just they can use actions to change out prepared spells for any other school to get a divination spell prepared.
Ah.
So, yeah, that's the real savantness of it. It's not just I write faster. It's I know this. So yeah, 4 hours. I will say that I'm not gonna make it to where like you get halfway through with Davis and Al at the settlement and everyone resting and just kind of taking in, maybe patching up some of their injuries, wrapping up, putting some salves, you definitely get the first spell. So Fortune's Favor, 4 hours in, you get it completed, and you possibly could get the other one done this evening, or you could, in the near future. And as you're transcribing that spell, kind of looking over it and seeing the threads of divination, there is on those corners. There's the eye that's always like the opening eye, like being revealed, and there's a stylized, how when you look at old medieval parchments and scrolls, there's always like the little artwork on the outsides and everything. Very much there is that kind of flavor. There was a lot of attention and detail put into these scrolls. But upon completion, is there, that when that happens, the scroll will, as it gets transferred and becomes permanent into your spell book. But it's there, and you have Fortune's Favor, and you have at least five of those pearls that were part of the holder for you are available.
Excellent.
Cool.
Adam, could I have had a short rest to spend some hit die to get some hit points back?
Oh, I would say everybody. Yeah, as long as, remember, you got to use a first aid kit.
Yeah, first
Uh-huh.
aid kit.
Healer's kit. But yeah, if anyone needs to patch themselves up, be it without the use of magic, short rest it up. I trust you guys to track your stuff.
Short rest.
I mean, what you guys are doing is still, it's not arduous. If he does, it'll be after midnight. And I don't think we're going to go like crazy late tonight. I mean, we might go like, a little bit after midnight, maybe 1 o'clock or, but.
Do I have all my stuff, Adam?
Equipment?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your colleagues and your friends had it all prepared, and they just kind of kept it in a bundle for you. And you're able to get your stuff, either put it back on the way you want it or have it within your personal bubble. So with the discussion, I guess Kyle, I'll shift to you. Karos, was there anything in this 2 to 4 hour period that maybe came to mind, or you're just happy with just being the observer and?
Yeah. I don't have too much unless what's her name was around. I would have maybe made small talk with her, just asked about like things like, does is it sturdy, like if it falls and cracks the skull, will that leak out? Stuff like that. Like just general concerns, containment and upkeep of a cursed skull.
Gotcha. So it's interesting because there's this very stark contrast in the discussion that you're having with Kiana and this discussion that Sej is having with Kiana. So when you're speaking with Kiana, it's about, like you said, maintaining the skull, making sure that nothing gets out, and she just tells you, well, it would need to be some serious. And she looks at you and she remembers seeing you jump up. You would need to probably do what you did earlier to make enough damage to release the binding. How do you jump good like that? You jump good.
It's mind over matter. I have had an interaction with a very crazy beast in my past, and one of the
With your
side
friends?
no
Oh.
before I met them. It got into my head, and I think it wanted to stay there, or I guess get what's in my head out. but I managed to. Well, I guess I shouldn't lie. I didn't manage to shake it off, but I was saved.
Nice.
But there was some damage, side effects, things like that.
Well, we are often made stronger when we heal and recover. We see the ants and their home gets crushed. They rebuild it, possibly better than before. So I'm happy to hear you mended well, and uncovered something special about yourself, because you truly are like something made of wind. I've never seen something that did not fly go up so high. It's as
Yes,
if
thankfully, our friend in the city, and I'll kind of tap the charms.
okay.
Thankfully, he lent me this. I can
Mm.
go up, but if I'm not careful, I come down just as hard as anyone I bring up with me.
Wow. Then it is a precious gift.
True.
Well, um, but yes, returning to the skull, especially if we go, if you allow me to prepare it to be turned to stone, I am fairly certain that one would have to make a great effort to try to release what's inside.
I'll trust in your expertise on the matter. I'll try to keep an eye to make sure it never releases what it has in it, or possibly will find a way to get rid of it for good.
I mean, I have faith after seeing what you all have done for your friend that if it were to return, it would not stand a chance again. So, and especially, and she kind of segues the conversation, if you have this one with you, and you got it's Sej, and Sej just kind of sheepishly, kind of shyly smirks, and Kiana will say, I have not seen one command, well, the sun as he has. It is, it was, I don't know, it was awe-inspiring. It was beautiful. And, I'd say, I feel bad for for Dregnar if he were to ever upset you, Sej. The way you just shattered the darkness, and I have a sense that what that thing was doing was using your friend's skill set. Well done, um, devotee of the sun. And they'll have this discussion, Kara, so they'll be able to interact and exchange. Um, you do get the sense that when you were selling your story, and that's actually I forgot I rolled. Kiana listened extremely attentively. She was dissecting everything you said, but not to be like harsh or try to find flaw,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just her nature. She's just
Inquisitive.
yeah, extremely inquisitive. Likely to come with a lot of her age. But yeah, it's a pleasant, quiet time at um, many hours in. Uh, Sej, everybody outside relaxing. You'll hear at one point Rock exclaim, "I did it!" And you see the page just as he finishes this, transcribing another spell into his book. And Pebble,
When he does that, I flinch. You did what?
I don't know if CJ's here, but yeah, the spell is now permanently his, as long as he's got his book.
Which spell? What? Wait now? Who?
I was just tying in your
Oh, okay. Yeah.
completion of the spell, or transcribing to all the different activities down here. So yeah, with that, some more time will pass. Davis and Al, you will, eventually start heading back. On your way out, can I have Davis and Al already gave me the perception check, so I know what the roll is. Can you roll me a perception check?
13 total.
13 total. Okay. Um. Sorry. So as you guys are heading out, and you're, passing up all those beautifully not what's like those colored buildings where they've been petrified and then they smear in different colors, dyes, and there's those murals. Something I want to make sure that I have the right notes on this. Yeah. Something that you both notice, but it doesn't sink in until you guys have passed by it. And then something draws you back to look at a relatively small mural on a relatively small building. However, this building has a number of what you would think are significant, like totem structures. You saw some of those markers in the woods to help people navigate. You saw a lot of those markers on the borderlands of the blasted area
So
of
like
that style.
cairns, kind of.
Yeah, cairns, and you saw them down by the creek, where in the waterfall where the cleanliness ritual happened. There is a depiction of a mountain where the summit is black, and then there's a large round beast with some horns, and then there's a figure walking with the beast towards the mountain. And I will say that does that look out of place to you? You look at all the other stuff and you see there's a eagle, there's the sun. There looks to be like a hunting party after like a basilisk hunt. This guy is different.
Yeah, I don't know. You tell me. I mean, I don't spend a whole lot of time looking at paintings on the side of buildings, so I don't know what belongs and what doesn't.
Well, it's just I haven't seen something that big around here with the horns,
Yeah.
except for the dead yak with the tarp on it. Do you think that's him? Is that
The
them?
guy that clearly didn't close whatever gate he was supposed to close, or door, or I don't remember what it was. Portal, some sort of thing. I don't remember. Maybe. Like, you think it
Yeah,
was... Yeah, maybe.
it's just thought. I mean, it looks like it's an old one, so maybe this happened a long time ago, and that's why.
You think it has to do with this building in particular? Like, should we go in and ask him?
It looks like a. I mean, sure. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sure.
We got time. They're back at camp. They're resting and stuff, so...
Okay. So the entryway is just a series of beads of different materials, carved woods, bone, just on strings, and you kind of push them aside.
I'm gonna keep a lookout for any of the unveiler symbology.
Oh, sure. Your choice: investigation or perception.
I get advantage on investigation today, but actually it's still probably worse because that's 6 less. So I'll just do perception.
Okay.
10.
Okay. Keeping an eye out for it. It's
Oh, sorry, that
not.
was perception.
Yeah. So keeping an eye out for it. As you enter, it again is this tent that has been turned to stone. There are light is coming in from the very top, and there are some natural little like 2 fire pits on either side as you enter.
Hello?
As you yeah,
Is anybody
hello,
there?
anyone?
Hi. I had a question about the painting on the side of your building. Hi, I'm
And
Davis, by
as
the way.
oh, Birch reaches
Birch,
out his
like the
hand.
tree?
Birch, like tree.
Cool. Nice. I like that. Yeah, are you familiar with the painting on the side of this building, I assume, right? With like the mountain thingy, the beast, the horn beast thing. That?
Um, I know I know picture. Yes,
Uh, what
here
is
long time.
what is that like a legend or a prophecy or like what is that supposed to represent? Like a story that happened?
Um, it is it is blessing. It is th- it is to guide path to completion. I'm sorry.
Complete what? Does it have to do with the choke, I think you guys call it? Is that what that mountain is? The choke?
I if I know the yes, it is choke. It is Badland. No, we no go.
Oh yeah, no, it's bad. Do not go.
Mm.
So we saw a beast like this. So we did go, which it's
You
bad.
are oh you are
Yeah,
you
yeah, that's
you
us.
are ones that make noise.
Yeah, again, so sorry that of any trouble that we caused. Hopefully everything's good now.
I hear you help with cleaning up trouble. Um, water monster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yep. And there is plant monster too. But yeah. So we did
Many
go.
monsters.
We saw beast like this. It was dead, and no rider, no man with it, no person with it. But we found, and actually out of character, I don't remember who has the thing. Was it Karos that had the parchment or whatever?
I
I'd
had
have
the
to refer to this.
I dug it up. I don't remember
Yeah,
that it was what the item was.
yeah. I don't think it's in my inventory. So yeah. So I'll just say we found a note for presumably the man to close a gate or close a door portal.
I know no gates. Um,
Door
I know
portal, I
Black
mean.
Mountain.
Okay.
If it, that is old. Long ago.
Oh, okay.
Uh, before me.
But did did they come from here?
They come here for help.
Oh, so do you know where they originally came from?
Beyond the mountain. I don't know story completely. I know painting and I know
But do you know? So, and I'll like point. I'll start pointing in directions. Like which direction? Beyond mountain.
I sorry, no.
Okay, so not from here. Okay, who would know? Would Do you have
Um,
someone?
ancestors, or
Do you have like a person who keeps stories for you guys that would know?
you see, he's like thinking. Uh, stories are on building.
Okay,
Unfortunately,
that's
mm,
okay.
I am sorry.
That's okay.
Maybe someone, but um, ancestors.
Okay, good to know. Thank you so much, Birch.
Thank you, Davis and
I'll let him
friend.
introduce himself if he wants to.
Yeah. Yeah, Al will realize that. Like, you see, like, Al's just been kind of like looking at everything, just kind of, and it's a curious little, you know, workspace. Um, he is by himself in here. There are inside. There are some, paintings
Yes.
as well.
Is it
Murals.
is it at
Mhm.
all obvious like what kind of workspace this is?
Um, Giving it a glance around, kind of conferring with Al. This seems to be more on the spiritual side of a workspace,
Okay.
as you see bundles of herbs and bones, and you see almost like you see a like an armadillo shell that's been hollowed out. It takes you a while to identify it, but then you see it and it looks like there's stuff in there. And Al will be like, I think this guy is like he talks to spirits or
Mm-hmm.
something, or a shaman. There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's those signs where like even like the untrained, uneducated eye, and this would be like, yeah, I hear stories about this, and it just kind of adds up. He's just
Makes sense.
like pouches and stuff. This seems to be a yeah. He's like, it was nice to meet. Mountains embrace on you.
Mountains embrace on you as well. Thank you.
Endure it well. And he kind of gets back, and you see as you kind of interrupted him, he was just taking beads, and just slipping them down some sort of string. Probably making a necklace or a bracelet or something.
Making more curtains for the doors.
Maybe, yeah. So Al will say, so I guess we got something. The guy died a long time ago.
Yeah, but wasn't the carcass was kind of more fresh than that? Or no, it was pretty gone, wasn't it?
No, it was even burnt in places, man.
Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, okay.
I mean, there was even I kind of regret leaving that the writing
The blanket?
blanket.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
We should try and like make a copy of what we think that symbol looks like. I think Zakaro somebody knew what those people were, but we should just write it down or draw it out just to kind of have a
and when you say that, Al will start like snapping, like he's got an idea. He's like, the tube, the thing that we found from the plant, right? It had some of their
Oh, it
magic
did.
scrolls. Maybe there's some clues to that.
Huh.
Race you back?
Oh man. If I get to ride Loon Loon.
I mean, but Loon Loon is back.
Oh, is
Okay,
I
well,
thought you would have come with.
no, no race. We'll just
No, yeah,
walk.
just I don't
I'm
want to.
itching for a race, man.
Yeah, after all the stuff that's happening, I don't want. I just play a little safe. Let's go meet back up.
Fine,
Besides, you have more tricks than I do.
obviously. That's why I want to race. He smirks, and y'all head back. At which point we'll say, you get back and you see the different conversations that like Karos and um, Sej are having with Kiana. You at some point see some more Goliaths swing by, Verma, Govak, and some few others. And they are bringing some foods to be made and the big open fire to share with you guys and to, discuss what you saw, let y'all rest. One of the individuals is not a like an old elder, but definitely one of like the older Goliaths. Um, you've seen a lot of the Goliaths that have, they have the gray tonation to their skin. He's got some of like these, like almost like not bony protrusions, but like calloused portions around his face, making him look more sharp and angular. But and has some where you saw like Morgan with the fire. He has tattoos that almost like resemble like the rivers and the spreading fingers of like the tributaries and the little runoffs and the babbles, um, and very proud of him. Not, and you think it's proud of himself, but as you discuss with him, it's proud of his people. They caught a nice amount of fish for you as a thank you for helping some of their people. Um, and so you guys are able to have, you know, fish on a skewer, nice and hot, uh, amongst with some of like the various berries that grow in this area, and essentially like similar to like a carrot, like a little starchier version of a carrot. So food is being able to had, recuperation is able to be had, stories and tales are had, and yeah. Rocky, you are more than welcome if you wish. You can start putting down the next scroll, and we'll just track the next 4 hours. If that's what you want to do.
Yeah. I'm rocking some quiet time. Also, my internet died, so I'm on my phone now.
Oh no.
Huh.
Okay.
Well, I'm sure it'll come back, but
Okay.
just again.
All right. I'll refresh your page and mark off the next 2 charges then.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. And I'm assuming you were using your blue inkwell, right? The fine one or whatever it was called.
I can't check my inventory, so sure.
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah. All right. So you're down to 3 charges. Confirm. Okay. Cool. So yeah. The day continues to pass. The evening continues to pass. Y'all are able to relax, recoup. As before the sun fully goes down, uh, Kiana will talk to you guys, discuss amongst you guys, see what you wish to do next, how you wish to approach it, and yeah. So she will say, "I believe uh, my services um, are through, as I know your friend will recover because he has, well, such a strong bond with all of you. Um, what are you to do next? Are you to take Morgan back to his settlement, or
Look at everybody, be like, yeah, maybe.
Davis, what about Morgan
What about Morgan?
for the task we were talking about? His sister's in the city.
Oh, you mean he would go back with it to take?
Yeah.
Like he would take? Oh, that. Hmm.
Sorry, Kiana, I just had a thought.
nothing to apologize? I am, and forgive me if I am to pry. I do not need to know. I just wish to be able to
Well,
give you a proper blessing as you leave.
our friend that we want to possibly give this to, and I kind of pat the skull, is in Whitlaw. It was Joel, which is a relative of Morgan, who told us to come see him to begin with to start this process. So I know my companion Davis is really, really wanting to get to Carver, and I don't want, I want to help him out as much as possible, considering, the debt that I owe for what everyone did for me.
Um, if
Morgan could possibly bring it to our friend in Whitlaw while he goes sees Joel.
Yeah, we can ask him. I'd be afraid's not the right word. I'd be concerned about because they check everything that comes into the capital, right? It seems. So, if he'd want to just show it to them, or he'd have to have some way to hide it.
Or what if we sent a letter and have told Taboo where we'll not Taboo
Tabard.
Tabard where we're going to be? I'm pretty sure he has plenty of means to be able to, let's say, meet us in Carver, and then we can hand it off to him then.
Yeah, or we can take Morgan back to Volpine and ask Meeker about that too. Like he may even be
Yeah.
able to send the note.
Yeah, we could always possibly leave it with Meeker and then have Tabard pick him up there. That way he can get to it whenever he gets a chance instead of trying to find us traveling.
Yeah, something tells me Meeker wouldn't love being saddled with this for a while, but he would still probably do it, but he'd probably not love it. But sure, we can give him the option.
Mm-hmm.
Al will kind of speak up. He's like, I mean, Meeker knew something about the weird stuff, right?
Oh
With
wait,
the
yeah, he
bag.
knows curse stuff too, right? Like that's I think.
It's kind of, I think, his
Yeah.
thing, right?
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, he helped us get those tentacle thingies off Al's face.
And you see Al
Out
just
of his
kind
throat.
of like his face. He's healed significantly well. He's still got like a little bit of like a tear on the upper portion of his left lip and everything. And he's like, man, I thought I was going to be just permanently maimed from that.
I mean, your
That shit
hair
was
is
scary.
a different story, but
It's getting better.
it is growing out, so it looks okay. Actually, it
It's
almost
getting
looks
back
weirder because it's growing out. It's like, yeah, it's just kind of weird.
But it'll fade. I'm certain of it. I only got and he looks up at the sky. He's like, I think like a week more of this. He starts shaking his hair. His broccoli starts moving. Oh. But yeah, Kiana, I kind of think whatever it is we do, I know Davis wants to go, as we mentioned, to Carver, and where he goes, I'm gonna go. So I guess 2 votes for Carver. Are we voting? We're voting now, right? Is this where we vote?
My vote's for Carver as long as we get this skull someplace, because I really don't want to be traveling around with it.
If you guys are proficient with insight, go ahead and roll me an insight check. I got Al. You see, I didn't ask him for one of these, but yeah, he rolled well.
Am I proficient with insight?
Oh yeah, Rock,
Sorry.
you're not on the sheet. Insight, you are +5.
16.
16.
14.
14. So Karos and Al, because Al got a 24 this time. He rolled well. Sorry, 23. Kiana, when you guys are saying Carver, she's thinking, and you see that she's got a thought on her mind, but she doesn't want to interrupt or she doesn't, want to ruin the train of thought. But you can tell every time you guys are bringing up Carver, she's like, again, especially you, Carlos, because you realize how well she analyzed and listened. She's like, okay, but yeah, still Al and Karos, you would notice it. Al will say, is there something wrong with Carver? You keep almost making a face when we say Carver. And as he says it again, and you see Kiana just kind of squint a little. You are speaking of the empty mines, yes? There is stories of it being a pit of greed, a bad place. Why
Because
there?
of this, and then I'll do the glaive. This came from there, I think. We think, like, we're pretty sure actually.
She would say, if I had not seen what you had done earlier, that would be the most impressive thing I've seen in a long time. But it is a mine. It is.
Well, we think there's a forge of some sort in there that from a long time ago.
You saying that the. In. Mm, and you see, she like stutters. She says,
Yeah, so I found some folks. So a couple of people have said this looks like it's of Carver make. And I found some dwarves in Whitlaw who claimed they were descendants of some of the ancient forge masters of Carver from hundreds of years ago. And they gave us essentially a map to what they said was the heart of the Snoring Mountain, I think. And in fact, this, and then I'll hold up the glaive, like kind of helped unlock the path we think that we're gonna have to take.
Oh, it did.
Right? Yeah. Dregnar here could read exactly what they provided, and we're pretty sure.
And I kill Sedge.
Oh, just in time.
Just in time.
oh, and my headset just switched over. Give me 1 second.
Key.
Yeah.
Welcome.
What's up,
Yeah.
Sedge?
Hey, Sej. What's up, Donnie?
Sorry about that. It's been a crazy day.
No,
No
no
worries.
worries.
You guys are just relaxing in the evening, or yeah, as it's
Talking next
you know,
steps.
Yeah.
When we said Carver,
as
Kiana's like, what?
Hmm. Oh, it's Noel. That's hilarious.
Nah, she wasn't,
There's
but
a
she
little-
does like had some reservations apparently.
she Karos and Al picked up on her kind of, and then she's trying to explain, and she knows it as the empty mines. She knows it as a pit of greed, a bad place.
Yeah, and then I showed her the glaive and explained how we were gonna go to the heart of the mountain.
She also said that Sedge and Dregnar had to fight to the death.
And she has her money on Sej because he can cancel out all the shadows.
Give me about an hour to the sun sets.
She's like, she's like, I would put down, as use gold as currency. I would put down 5 gold on the sun one. But no,
Takes out my drift globe and casts light.
yeah,
Cheap
daylight, yeah, solace.
Trigger
No,
minutes.
it's actually kind of poignant that you arrived right at this point. That's actually kind of neat. Good job. Timing works. We live in a scripted world. So the sun is setting as you guys are discussing what's next. And as you guys are eating the river fish and just relaxing and rock, you are transcribing the spell, but you're not completely just sheer focus. You got the quill helping you. You're enjoying the conversation. It's nice to see Dregnar doing better. Kiana will say, while I wish to impart on you safe travels and proper, well, disposal of the cursed skull, I I do not have something for all of you, but I wish to impart a token to, well, one that moved me. It was, as mentioned earlier, I had not seen someone with such a connection to the sun. It, to make a joke, warmed my soul. He smiles.
Nice one.
Um, thank you. Uh, and she's going to, like, you see, she's got numerous strings of beads. Again, some bone, some wood, some various sizes, other type of cordage. And it takes her a moment as she's kind of like trying to get it tangled and untwined with one. And this is the wrestling and the rattling of the beads. But she does eventually take off one that has a much larger bead, almost than any other one, and that's like in the center, and then offset to one side, there's two other smaller beads, and she takes it and says, "Sej of the sun, I shit, that's loud. Sorry."
I should
No. That my phone was vibrating. I don't know if it was coming through, but it was like super loud.
run, Goliath shit.
No. Uh, she says, um, "This is a gift. I wish you to impart on you if you would take it with a blessing. Uh, mm, this represents a connection to the land and its land's reliance on the sun. And the big bead, wooden, very, it's perfectly round, uh, etched into it or like embossed into it or brazened into it. I don't know the proper term. Forgive me. There is essentially like a mountainscape, like very simple, like triangles, triangle, 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 and then above it, it is a swirled symbol of the sun, and has a few rays coming off at all the major coordinates, right? So north, south, east, and west. And she says, "May these beads be blessed and guide you in your prayers and endeavors." Do you take it, Saj?
I'm so honored right now.
Oh wow. So I will
I'm
send
gonna
you.
like gently walk up and like Eastern bow, hoping she'll like lay it on me.
Oh, she kind of. I mean, she's insightful enough. She gets it and she says, "May you bring the warmth of the sun to all that you meet." And she places it over you.
What a diplomat.
Can I check her for a hug?
I mean, you could just go. Yeah, you can. Insight check. I'll give you add advantage because she's in a very vulnerable kind of "I'm giving you things" state.
Have to pop out my thing.
It's all good. Take your time. Hey,
Insight?
Jones. Yeah, insight, just to see.
Insight. Oh yeah.
+8.
Thank you for the. Holy shit. Oh wait, I can't roll again. 13 was my other roll.
That's fine.
Wow.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. You're still kind of taken aback. You weren't expecting this. I would say, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but Sej usually doesn't accept things from other people. He normally buys them or exchanges for them.
Yeah.
And, initially you didn't understand these people. They seemed a little odd and off, but you were kind of taboo this, taboo blah blah blah. But having seen the effort and the energy that she put forth to cleansing Dregnar to assist you through this process, you get the sense of respect. The way she speaks and presents herself this evening, respect. The way she compliments you, it feels good to be complimented. And she's in a very vulnerable place as she's setting it down. DC was 10, just to catch her off guard. And you're able to kind of. You're big. She's a Goliath. She's still actually fairly big. So it's not like this like where you have to like completely lean down and hug. You still lean down a little bit, but it's like almost like hugging a sibling, right? Like a family member. Give her a good hug, and she kind of taken back and pats you, and um,
I'll just awkwardly walk back after that.
yeah. You'll hear Al. You'll see Al, and he's like, with a little tear. That was beautiful. That's why we do this. We make friendships. Eh? Anyone? Friendships? High five? No.
I'm
And then
gonna
I'll
look
just
at
kind of.
Davis and be like, you know, maybe I was wrong about this village.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look.
They're
I'm gonna
great.
look at Al and shake my head.
He's got
I'll give Al a little
okay.
fist bump, just like a very low key fist bump.
Nice. So fist bump. So mechanics on this because I don't think says you've ever had one of these before. And then we'll go ahead and take a break. Sej, these are a form of prayer beads. So in D&D proper, there is a magical item called magical prayer beads or something. And the one big tweak that I do in Materia with this item is that you can find beads, or you could make beads, and you can add them to this that do not have to be the ones that are listed here. It's kind of an adventure. It's kind of a quest. Grant, their previous war cleric, he found a bead. It was a seafoam green, roughly cut one that allowed him to cast Shillelagh on, and it counted as a cleric weapon. It basically let him use wisdom to attack. So, like, you know, DM, excuse me, DM to player, you might be able to come up with something creative. Don't feel like the chart is limiting.
Okay.
So think of it as like the string is the magic item, and then you can put magic beads on it in the future. So what is special about this one is that one, when you use the beads, it is a bonus action to use the bead rather than an action. So like if it were to
okay.
cast Bless, when you cast Bless with this spell, it is at first level, but it is a bonus action. So keep that in mind. Additionally,
cool.
you are casting a spell without using a spell slot, so you can use Bless as a bonus action and then cast a third level, fourth level spell. Keep that in mind.
And you don't have to
Uh,
maintain concentration, or how does
no, he
concentration
does.
work?
He still has the contain concentration, but
Okay.
he could like bless and then cure wound someone, or something like that,
Cool.
or whatever. Um,
Clutch.
but go ahead.
I just said clutch.
Yeah. And then so there are the three beads. One of the beads is bless, bonus action, cast bless. The other bead um, is circle of power. It's listed on the item. It's a 5th level paladin spell. Have fun. It's really nice. And then the last one is that large unique bead. And that one is on here. It's a special bead. It doesn't give you a spell, but it gives you the feature called Enduring Will. At any point that the bearer is subject to an attack, spell, or effect that would render them incapacitated, you can make a wisdom saving throw against it. The DC is against the DC of the effect or half of the damage, whichever is greater. And you ignore the incapacitating effect, but you still would drop down to 1 HP potentially if it was like being knocked unconscious. So have fun with
Interesting.
that. Yeah.
Like a
So
Diablo death save.
kind of, and like keep in mind, like stunning strike incapacitates you, being paralyzed
Yeah,
incapacitates
true.
you, like being unconscious incapacitates you. So there's a lot of things that you could potentially endure your way out of. But yeah, have fun.
Cool. How do
Yeah.
I what is it under in
I link if you. Oh god! Of course you
should
went
I add
there.
it to my inventory?
No,
It is
it's in
Arcana.
the materia chat.
Yeah. Yes. Add it to your inventory. If you just type in if you just search enduring, it should show up. I put a link
Enduring.
in
Got
here as
you.
well.
Yep.
But yeah.
I just wanted to know there was a couple different prayer beads. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, enduring prayer bead. Cool. And there, we'll say, let's go ahead and take a break. Let's be back, hopefully before the top of the hour. So, 55 after or so. Sorry, Donnie, you just got here, but we're taking a break.
Hey, no, that's just fine. Let me get settled.
All right. And yeah, so I'll at the latest be back by 10, but let's be back if we can before.